Okay, excuse the state of me, everyone. This is Lisa Ware, Senior Group Leader. It's another glorious day in the UK. Who needs to spend money and go abroad when we've got this beautiful weather? But it is quite warm, and I think I should have invested in a aircon unit. Instead, I'm using a fan. Right, guys, today is not motivational, but it's helpful. There are lots of little things that I know you come up against, and I'm going to try and get through as much of it as I can. I would suggest that you have your mobile phone to hand because I'm going to talk you through stuff. And the reason I'm doing it is because I'm going to say to you, that's what you need to do with your customers. All right. If I was to make a what we call a flow chart, a process chart, hopeless, because it keeps changing. And there is no point in me writing this down because it's evolving. And in fact, I've had a bit of fun and games finding this stuff myself. All right. So the first one is the easiest one, which is proving home ownership. Right, guys. So you've met a customer, and let's say they've just bought their very first home. Or they might have just bought a home, they've moved. Now, I don't know if you know, but in the UK, everything is behind, and it takes a minimum of 6 months for their details, their names to be added to the land registry title. Okay. It is very, very, very rarely there before 6 months. That's why the company have extended. Okay. But what you can do is you can actually help yourself and help them and take away lots of anxiety. So when I get this, which is quite frequent, it's on my to-do list immediately. It's like it's part of what I do on the appointment. After I've done things like help them download their app, obtained the early termination, the pack codes. I don't end an appointment leaving them to do stuff. I do it. All right. So my appointments aren't done and dusted in an hour because, in my opinion, I want to get all of it out of the way. And believe me, sometimes you need to. If any of you had been a fly on the wall on my Friday appointment with this beautiful, lovely elderly couple, if I hadn't have bothered to ring 3, we'd have never got a pack code. In my personal opinion, other than Vodafone, I think they're the worst company in the world. We all know where they are. And they string you around to different departments, and you have to say the same things over and over again. But in my opinion, it's worth doing. And in fact, the couple said to me, if I hadn't have done it, they wouldn't have bothered. So that would have been a mobile, not switched. And in fact, for the one for 3, she was paying £19.50 a month, and now she's paying £5 because she was paying £19.50 for 5 GB, and now she's paying £5 for 10 GB. How about that? Was it worth it? Yes, of course it was worth it. So, first of all, the thing on the list is proving home ownership. So look, somebody's just moved in, they're not going to be on the title deeds. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is ask them, and they're going to have this stuff, either a conveyancing letter that has the words completion on it. Okay, I can't start showing you some because I'd have had to pick things up and started blacking out. You know what a conveyancing letter looks like. It's the one that's the completion, all right? That is absolute, without fail, proof that there's been a house bought and they've moved in. You can't get one of these if they're tenants, okay? The other things, the other items that are just as good is either a mortgage statement from the bank or building society. Now, the company isn't interested in money. okay, at all. What they're interested in seeing is from, for example, let's say the nationwide to them, and it's showing the address where the mortgage is related to. Does that make sense? Yeah. That is proof of home ownership, and that will do marvelously. And it's really easy. Get ready to write down. All you need to do is write an email to co-admin. So that is CO, Charlie Oscar, the word admin, no dots, just co-admin at uw.co.uk, and attach the relevant document. Easy. What you need in the subject line is the account number that you've just set up and the names, name or names. And then write proof of home ownership. That's what you need to write. And then obviously a couple of lines, attach your document, and off you go. So how are you going to get these documents when you're with them? Now, some people do have printers, but if not, you've all got a decent mobile smartphone. Take a nice photograph, stand above it so it's flat. Please, no angled things. You've got to show the whole document, the whole page, nice within the, not just a part of it. All right. I see all sorts of stupid things sent sometimes, and it's like, did you not think they need the whole page? Please ensure it's the whole page. Okay. That one is really nice and easy. Now, the next one is obtaining an early termination fee. So what you need to explain to them is that I'm afraid forwarding the text message that when you've applied for the pack and it comes back and it says what the early termination fee, I'm sorry, guys, that is not sufficient because it's not set in stone. I'm not sure if you're aware, but an early termination fee happens. You get a pack code and there's 30 days to utilize that code. Every day that goes by, it's a descending scale. Let's say today, somebody got a pack code today and it said the early termination fee, let's make it easy, was £200. That's today. But they've got to wait for their SIM cards from Utility Warehouse. Okay. Want to get those. Then the porting is going to happen. Please don't send a pack code on the online sign up form. I don't know why the company has put it on there. That is just heading for absolute chaos. It really is. Because if you submit the pack code when you do the sign up, and that new UW SIM card, which will have already ported because you've given the pack code, if the Royal Mail puts it in somebody else's letterbox, you've just given away their telephone number and all their data. You don't want to do that. You want to ensure that they receive their new Utilityware SIM card, and then I do the porting or show them where to do the porting. Now, that's something for another day about porting. We'll do that as another thing. What we're talking about is getting the early termination fees. So here's a big thing. Mobile networks. They're naughty on purpose. So they get most people to go online to an account. The problem is, as soon as the pack code is utilized, the online account shuts down. And their last bill, the final bill that shows any early termination fee, has now gone because the online account is shut down. So what you have to do is say to them, please, please, please go into your account almost immediately and pick up that final bill, or get hold of the company and say to them, I want the final invoice emailed to me, to them, not me, to them. All right. Really important because it's the final bill that shows the early termination charge. Now, why does it need to be a bill? Because I tell you what, it cannot be anything else because by law, the company has to prove how they got to the figures they did. Because otherwise, that bill could be just usage within the last 10 days or something. Yeah, whatever it may be. So it has to be itemized. So that's, you get the bill. Now, let me show you what you do. Get your mobile phone ready, and then I'll show you the online thing as well, and I'll talk you through it. So I'm doing it too. For a good idea is probably go into your own, okay? So when you're with them, you're going to go into their Clubhouse app. Hence one of the reasons you need to do it. So where do you go? Guys, first of all, you click Help. That's the bottom tab. There's Home Bills Cashback Help. Click Help. Then you want to click, you could type into the search. Can you see search? Type early termination fees. And what will come up? How do I make an early termination claim for my £400 to help me switch? Got it? Are you with me, everyone? Give me a thumbs up. Yeah. So click that one. And then up comes a page with masses of information. You may, after this, have a good read of it all. But what I want you to look at is how to submit your claim. Online, use the contact form under Contact Us and select Send Proof of Early Termination Fee from the drop-down menu. So guys, do it with me. Click Contact Form. It's a hyperlink. Except for Lindsay, because I think he's driving. All right, now.
Sorry, Lisa, I missed where I picked that one up.
So the previous page, there was online. Did you get that prep page?
I went into the how do I make a claim for the early termination fees? Was that one?
Yeah, and then there was a load of writing and there was a hyperlink that said contact form.
Yes, got it.
Right. Now, what comes up? How do I make an early termination claim for my £400 to help switch? You do not click that. You click, can you see still need help? You click Contact Us. Then you click Send Us a Message. And up comes, I'd like help with, there's a drop-down box. And if you scroll down, there is Send Proof of Early Termination Fee. Please scroll down, it's hidden. Have you all found that? Can you give me a thumbs up? Yeah, got it. So you press that, subject, proof of early termination fee, comes up, their account number, their name, contact, and then can you see if you scroll down, you can put a message in. So they might put something like, I'm enclosing my Vodafone final bill that shows that I am making a claim of, let's say, £245. Then you click browse and they then attach that bill. Now, if there's more, if there's like, let's say there's cancellation fees for energy, £50 gas and electric, there's a mobile, there's broadband, all of them, you need to attach them all. So they need to write a message that is sufficient for all of them. Now, most younger people have no problems with any of this, but I'm going to tell you that the generation, which is kind of 50 plus, what I find as a rule, yeah, this is hard work. Now, you will get the odd green analytical person that wants to do it because it's their way of proving to themselves that they're very clever. All right. But most people don't want to do all this. So what do I do to get round it? I say to them, when you get that final bill, would you please send it to me? Forward it to me. I give them my email address or they can attach it on a WhatsApp. Most people can do that. All right, the final bill, they'll often photograph it again, making sure that the pages are clear, that it shows the name, the address, the mobile number. Oh my God, if you think about it, it's logic. But do you know what? Most people haven't got logic. I'm sorry to say, but they haven't. You've got to point this stuff out. Yeah. Now, what do I do with it? Well, when I set them up originally with their Clubhouse app, until all their services go live, we agree, them and I, we agree on a password that I know with their permission, obviously. If I've got their permission, that's allowed. Okay. That doesn't break any GDPR. And I say to them, when you get that, you send it to me, and then I go into their Clubhouse because I've got their password and I use their own app and I send it up. That easy. That easy. I do it for them because I just know. I mean, it takes me moments, but for some people, this is like hard work. You know, if they can't be bothered to get a pack code, they ain't going to be bothered to do this stuff. And I don't care what head office says. Now, you and I know, all this self-serve, young people want it. They want to do things for themselves. They don't want to be bothered. Young people don't even want to speak to people. Do you know that when they talk about chatting, they're ping pong texting on Facebook? That's their idea of chat. They don't even want to speak to anyone. So they want to do this stuff. But the older generation, and I'm going to say this is me, I want to be served. And if you want to be that incredible partner and offer 6-star customer service, then do what I do. And then I don't get any problems. All right. Does that help? Now, I'm now going to share my screen and show you. You will find the odd person. They're generally elderly. Sorry if I'm being ageist, but I'm saying it the way I find it, that do not want to download the app. Believe it or not, they don't want to download an app. I've got a couple of customers who haven't even got a smartphone. They have got a Nokia, the kind of thing. They can't do this stuff. So we can still help them because they're happy to go online. All right. So I'm going to share my screen now. And any moment now, you are seeing, there we go. You're seeing get your items together. Yes? Thumbs up, somebody, let me know. Brilliant. Right. So this is what you do. You go into the account, or they go into the account. Support. All right. Click support. It's very similar. Then you type in here, early termination fees. Hang on. Right. There we are. How do I make an early termination claim for my £400 to help switch offer? So click that. Then I'm just moving you guys out of the way. Can you see this? There it is again. It's the same page. You'll recognize it. Click contact form. And then you go down to, not that. I think this is very misleading, this. Okay. You go down to contact us. You click send us a message. And hey presto, you're back where you were before. So it is almost identical. There you are. Look, drop it down. There you go. Send proof. Subject. proof of early termination fee, and you've got exactly the same online fill-in form and attach. A lot of elderly people have got used to the computer. They know how to do this, all right, online. So that is submitting early termination fees. And we've done home ownership. How are we doing? Right, we'll carry on now. So next item. Adding digital home phone. Okay. Are you aware that the digital home phone service is the brand name of Utility Warehouse's version of VoIP? Okay. They've just branded it. They've called it Digital Home Phone Service. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you how you do it. So, okay, you're going to recognize I'm back where I was. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of that. So let's go in. Right. You'll recognize I'm going into the quoting system. I'm going to put me, all right, because then I'm covering myself. I'm not exposing anybody. And I am at the bottom usually. There we go. Rosemary Cottage. Yes, we own. Get a quote. Okay. This is 11 megabits per second. Yes, good. I'm glad it says that. Right. So let's click on the broadband. Now, here we are. This is the reality for me. This is what I get. There it is, guys. Ultra broadband, 11 megabits. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, they've just improved it. I used to get 0.7 upload. I get in 1 to 1.1. And it all works, including Zooms. Right, so choose the plan. Now, what I want you to see down here, line activation. If you're not sure, check your broadband bill, okay? Now, mine can't show digital because I haven't got it. I'm sorry. But what it would say is, would you like to keep your phone service? And then it asks questions like, has anybody got, you know, like one of those things that hangs round their neck, like my mum had? Yeah. It asks that question. Please ensure you answer it. And then all you do is you put the telephone number in there that they want to keep. And that is all you do for the digital home phone service. It is on that page. I just can't show it because I haven't got it. There's no full fibre here. But here's something that you need to know. Let me stop. At the moment in time, when they go over to full fibre, because I did one the other week, the full fibre goes over on the day that it's set. So they moved from copper fibre to full fibre. City Fibre were there, did the work in the day, made the nice little box and all the rest of it. But the home phone, their normal phone, there is an adapter and it goes into a socket in the back of the new router. And it enables their normal phone to work. However, at the moment, there's a delay. It doesn't happen on the day that the fibre goes over. You must just say to them, it will go over about 10 days later.
Interesting.
All right. So just let them know that it will go over about 10 days later. Now, I will say this. Don't assume, excuse me, I'm having a tropical moment. Don't assume that everybody wants to keep their number. Even if you do, please don't pass that emphasis on to them, because I am getting surprised how as time is going along, how even more elderly people are starting to agree that the NHS, for all their appointments, hospital, doctors, they get a text message. because what's happening is the government are pushing and pushing and pushing everybody over to digital. So in fact, what you're getting is some people saying, well, actually, do you know what? In truth, I don't really need it. And if that's the case, it doesn't matter then. Yeah, it doesn't matter. All right. So that's the digital phone service. Right. Solar panels. This is easy. It cropped up, and this is why this training came about, because somebody said, oh, I've never dealt with this. Now, look, guys, this is the simplest thing in the world. This is good news. You don't have to know anything about solar panels. You don't have to understand FIT. FIT stands for feed-in tariff, which is the old version of how they received money back from regenerating electricity through their panels. It's now SEG, which I can't even remember what it stands for. And you know, it doesn't matter because they know whether they've got FIT or SEG. But we don't need to know. They're going to say to you, what do we need to do? This is what happens. Please explain this in the simplest way. You say to them, at the moment, for example, you're with Octopus. You are buying in electricity from Octopus, as if you were with anyone else, the same. But your panels are generating electricity, which you sell back through Octopus to the grid, and you earn money. And you get money as a credit on your Octopus bill. So sometimes it appears to them, they'll say, "Oh, we don't have electric. We've got solar panels." That's their misunderstanding, folk. Everybody buys off the grid originally. Okay, whatever usage, the solar panels don't make the usage less. Let's say if they had no solar panels and they were using 11,000 kilowatts annually a year, that would still be the same with the solar panels. But the difference is the solar panels generate electricity, which goes back to the grid. And through the grid allows Octopus to pay them a credit, which is offset against what they're buying it in on. Does that make sense? Yeah. Now, what it means is you just do your quote normally. You still get the Octopus bill. You still look for the estimated annual usage and you still put that in exactly the same. Nothing changes. So then they might say, well, do you offer SEG? Yes, Utility Warehouse offers SEG and FIT. Although I would be absolutely transparent with any of my customers and I tell them we are best priced for regeneration. I often say to them, stay where you are for that, carry on getting your payments back. And let's just, because here's the bit that they don't seem to often understand is they might be getting a good rate on the regeneration, but actually we're the best rate for the tracker and fixed rate. That's fact. So it's buy it in cheaper, but tell you what, stay with them and carry on getting your money back from your present supplier. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. Got that? So you don't have to worry about understanding. And listen, there are those people out there that will try to blind you with science. There is no science. What I've just told you is actually spot on correct. Okay. Right, I can do the last bit. I'm amazed. I'm going to do other things next week, but this is electric vehicle tariffs v Economy 7. Right. We offer an EV tariff, just like everyone else, and it's exactly the same as everyone else. It's for 5 hours, and it starts from midnight to 5 in the morning. Economy 7 starts at midnight till 7 in the morning. Now that means you get 2 more hours of cheaper electricity. On the EV tariff, it is slightly cheaper than the Economy 7, but if they're prepared to be one of those users that doesn't just charge their EV, but really makes use. So let's say they're willing to put their washing machine on to come on, say, at 5 in the morning to do its cycle, and it'll be ready for 7 o'clock when they wake up. If they're willing to put their dishwasher on. Now, I have got one of those people. Analytical isn't the word, but he's a brilliant builder. He built my extension. And when I approached him, he was with Vodafone for broadband and all mobiles. And he was with Octopus for electricity. By the way, no gas where we live. All right. He's the same. He turned around to me and said, I'm willing to look, Lisa, but I don't think you're going to beat any of this. He said, because I've got it sussed and I've got a brother who's got spreadsheets going and working out when all my vans are being charged up. 5 vans, by the way. Backup batteries, solar panels, you name it, he's got it. We're talking an extensive high user of electric. And I turned around to him and I said, well, give me a chance because you are the perfect person for what I intend to do this for. And I'm going to show you and your brother how I can help you have more profit. Businesses think profit. They don't get sentimental about who they're with. I've learned that over the years. It's only domestic people that get, oh, I've always been with British Gas. Oh, because they're British. No, they're not. They're French, Centrica. Right. So he passed me all the spreadsheets. Do you know, I didn't even look at them. I didn't even bother to look at them. I just took the consumption and I put that consumption in and I did him a quote as I would for everyone else. And then when he realised the value of the cashback card, it came out much cheaper. And he loved the fact that he was getting 7 hours, not 5. He said, all that means, he said that the clothes won't be so crumpled because they did do this, put their washing machine on timed. He said, oh, my wife will be far more pleased now. He said, because she's up at 6, so that's great. I saved him lots of money. Okay, so EV, we can't quote. However, I can show you there is a whole table of tariffs. And what I'll do on the replay, I'll send out the link for you all that you can click on and have a look to see what our charges are. But in my 23 plus years, and EV tariffs have only been in the last, I don't know, 2, 3 at the most. I'm going to say to you, I've put nearly everybody on Economy 7 and they've saved money. Even though it's a pence or more expensive. It's the fact that they get more hours that makes it good. Yeah. Especially if there's more than one electric vehicle. Okay. Because, if they've only got one electric vehicle, they don't have loads and loads of points where they can power up. They've only usually got one. So actually, like, this really helped him. So, any questions? Unmute if you've got some questions, because I've managed to do it in the time, which I'm chuffed about. Anything that I've not, or are you stunned, or have I explained it?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please do, Lorraine.
It's to do with the telephone thing. I had one recently where I was going to sort out broadband for the lady, but UW wouldn't let me because we don't have the battery backup for the fact that she wears the carer's pendant thing. I just thought I'd point that out in case anyone
Yep.
doesn't know.
Yeah, yeah. If they've got, that's why it's a vital question. If they've got one of those, it might be a no-goer.
Yeah, it is at the moment because UW can't fulfill the regulations about it. They can't rely on the customer doing it elsewhere
Yeah, that's
at the
right.
moment. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did it all make sense about solar panels and the fact that they're still buying the same electric? And yeah. And by the way, there's no such thing as green gas. All right. I have had somebody that believed they had green gas. That's how naive the public are. That's a polite way of means saying it. Gas still comes down the same gas pipe, and it's not green at all. It is what it is. The only thing that's green, even that's a bit of an anomaly if you go into it all. I would just say, do you know what? Of all the suppliers out there, I think I can sit with my heart and say we're doing the best that we can for them. I may not agree with everything, but we're doing the best that of all the suppliers. Okay. Personally, I'd never have an electric vehicle. Never, ever, ever. You're sitting on an EMF nightmare. You're sitting on those huge lithium batteries. Very scary stuff. Anyway, we've managed to do this. So
We're still planting trees, though, are we, Lisa?
we are still planting trees when it's 3 services. Yeah. And
Yeah.
actually, do you know of anything? That's got to be the greenest thing of the lot.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
trees take in carbon dioxide and they give out oxygen. Ah, how simple is that? But of course, if you're Bill Gates, you chop trees down. Did you know that? Right, guys, we'll leave it there.
Thank you.
See you next week. And I
Yes.
love your ideas. If you give me ideas of what you want us to talk about, take care.
Thank you
All
for
the best.
doing that.